Good morning, people of God. Again, I say, good morning. Listen, I want to share something with you. We often talk about spiritual things, but sometimes we forget that there is a natural part of us that must be ministered unto also. I have something that I want to share with you. Now, it ministers to the natural man, but I guarantee you, it will be a support to the spiritual man. So if you just give me a few minutes, just give me a few minutes of your time, and I guarantee you that you won't regret this information that you are about to hear coming up right now. Listen, I want to share something with you. You have been seeing the advertisement for Riri's herbal teas that have been coming up just before we begin our 5 a.m. prayer. I want to introduce you to the certified herbalist. Now, listen, these herbal teas are going to be to your advantage. You don't want to miss this. Now, watch this. This is Pastor Stephanie Thomas. Remember, we've had her on and she ministered unto us, and she comes on every morning at 5 a.m. She is not only an associate pastor of Place of Refuge in Davenport, Iowa, but here she is sharing with you what God has given to her. Now, I want to present to you Pastor Stephanie Thomas. Take it away, Pastor Stephanie Thomas. Listen, what do you want us to know about Riri's herbal teas other than I am a faithful drinker of Riri's herbal teas? Go for it, Pastor
And
Stephanie.
I'm a faithful drinker myself.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I have to be honest with you. First of all, I have to give you this disclaimer. I am not a medical doctor and I don't diagnose conditions. And I don't suggest to people that you run out and stop taking your medications. I'm going to say that right off the top. I would never suggest to someone that they would do something like I did, which is to take themselves off of medication. I would never say just that. So I'm saying that straight up front. As an herbalist, one of the things that you learn is that's not what you're going to do. But I have to say I got started several years ago being interested, and it really didn't get serious until here lately, because I've been trying to take all the classes and get certified and all of that, and it takes a while to know what will do what, you know. But how I got started, Pastor Chris, I don't know if you remember, I had blood clots years ago, and I had a pulmonary embolism. When I left the hospital, I was on 15 milligrams, and anybody's in the medical field knows that is a horrendous amount of what they call blood thinners. It's called warfarin or Coumadin. And anybody that knows me knows I hate taking medication for any reason. And it started, I wanted to know what the medication was. Well, when I looked it up, to my surprise, warfarin and Coumadin is rat poison. So imagine yourself realizing that you have to put rat poison in your body. It sent me for a loop. I realized that when you have pulmonary embolism, what they have to do is they have to keep your blood thin. I have to go lab work every week. But the idea is because they need your blood to be thin to keep it from clotting up to cause a problem when you get a clot. Sometimes it goes to your heart, sometimes, in your lungs, in your brain, and things like that. And actually, if you get one blood clot in your lungs, you can die from it. It's what, and I keep saying, I got around the time that Heavy D got it, and Heavy D died instantly. God blessed me because he had one and died instantly. I had several clots, God just blessed me immensely. And I will never stop telling my story. I know it gets old to some people, but when you have been blessed the way I have been blessed, you don't care what nobody thinks about you.
That's a testimony in itself.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so what ended up happening was I was trying to figure out how I could get off of this medication. And I'm thinking that there had to be something natural. So I ended up going to the store and I was getting a seasoning. And it was a seasoning. I was getting ready to make something and I had to look it up and I wanted to find out what is this for? It's called turmeric.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people call it turmeric, however. But anyway, I looked up the seasoning and it said it's a lot of people of Indian descent use it in their food and a daily, but it has a tendency to thin your blood.
Mm.
I said, oh,
Mm.
well, hold up.
Mm-hmm.
So I started using turmeric in my food. You had to be careful with it because turmeric it stains really, really, really bad.
It does.
And so um, I ended up doing that, and I ended up seeing going on YouTube and finding out that as a spice, a seasoning, that people make tea out of it. I thought, you have got to be kidding.
Wow.
So I ended up drinking, making it a habit of drinking turmeric tea. I go to my doctor, who happens to be of Indian descent,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "What do you think about me start eating stuff with turmeric?" And she said, "I use turmeric all the time. Not a big deal. No such as that." Well, they did my lab results. My blood thin has to be the thinning of my blood has to be between a 2 and a 3, and it was like a 4, and they had brought it down. She said, "We're gonna have to change your medication." After I did the term, I didn't tell her.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I kept doing that. Today, I still am on blood thinners.
Uh-huh.
I am a lifetime because they're not for sure how my blood is going to react.
Mm-hmm.
But I no longer take 15 milligrams. I'm on 6.
Wow.
And drinking turmeric
Drastic
tea
change.
is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I still have that, it's not as much. I did not get off of the medication, but I don't have 15 milligrams. And it looks like this.
Yeah.
This is turmeric. And I'm telling you, turmeric stains your clothes.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, what did I end up doing is I put it in a tea bag and started, and I thought to myself, I could do something with this.
Uh-huh.
I started taking classes and finding out all of the different things that herbs do and all that. And I used to make what they call tinctures. So I took all the herbs and I put them with in a jar, and you put an alcohol in it, and it draws out the properties of the herbs.
Uh-huh.
But it takes 6 weeks for that to mature.
Oh.
I ain't have no 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I started researching what if I ended up making it where you could drink it. That's how I ended up. I started on my husband.
Uh-huh.
He is a fan of red raspberry tea.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to see if I could make red raspberry tea with
Uh-huh.
natural herbs.
Uh-huh.
So I looked on the box to see what all they had in it, and I thought that's a good base, because you have to know what is a good base and what you can cut with it and what will mix and what will not.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my own little herbs, and I told my husband, I said, I got you. I'm going to make your tea for you, because he has tea when he preaches.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm going to make your tea for you. And he said, okay. So I didn't use his box tea. I used my own.
Uh-huh.
And so after church, he said, that was good. I said, well, I made it.
Oh.
But there's a twist with it. I put an herb in it called ginkgo biloba.
Yes.
Ginkgo biloba is good for memory. And like if you have foggy brain and stuff. I told him I don't want you to get up there preaching and you get foggy brain. You forget what you're supposed to say. So
Uh-huh.
I put that in there. He has not gone back to box teas. I have a whole shelf full of box teas that I need to get rid of because now
Wow.
he will not go back. And because of that, I started naming it Pastor T because my husband's name is Tom. So I made a Pastor T.
Oh, it comes in cold too. You can
Oh
already
yes,
you okay?
yes,
Okay.
yes. I make a small bottle,
Uh-huh.
but I also make big bottles like this. This is
Yeah.
33,
Oh my goodness.
and
Good.
this is 8.
You can carry those with you.
They are so. This is a spill-proof top.
Uh-huh.
I carry them around in a cooler
Okay.
because people see me out and they say, "Do you got any teas with you?" And when people started doing that, I thought, let me just make sure I got some with me all the time.
Pastor Stephanie, listen, tell me about the variety of teas that you have, because I'm drinking what's called right now immune tea, but I know you have others. Come on, tell me about the other teas that you have.
I have the immunity. I have the original, and I have cranberry. I started experimenting with dehydrating fruit when I got my air fryer.
Uh-huh.
I know that you're trying to figure out how did you get the mix? Mm-hmm. I'll just say God.
Uh-huh.
So I started dehydrating fruit and putting fruit in there. Now I have regular immune and cranberry immunity.
Uh-huh.
And it's actually spelled IMMUNI with a big T. Immunity.
Uh-huh.
So I have what's called lift tea.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have several different kinds of lift tea because lift tea is when you want a pick me up
Yeah.
because all of them except for those are naturally decaffeinated, but lift tea it's a natural caffeine.
Okay.
It's not synthetic, it's natural.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them are more caffeinated than others. So I have one that's heavy lift,
Uh-huh.
I have a medium lift, and I have a light lift. I do not drink the heavy lift. I'm not a heavy lift person.
Now, listen, let me tell the people of God, I have drank the heavy lift and it definitely does lift you up. It's not like some of the other lift drinks where it lifts you up and then it slams you down. No, this is a subtle
Slow.
lifting.
Yes,
And,
that's
and
exactly
you
it.
have to be careful because it doesn't make you jittery. I drink it. It doesn't make you jittery, but you will be lifted. And if you want to go to sleep, don't take it late at night. But go ahead, Pastor Stephanie. Tell us about the other teas that you have.
I have a weight tea, and
Uh-huh.
the weight tea is called WEY with a T.
Mm-hmm.
What the weight does, it is a appetite suppressant in it, and it's natural appetite suppressant. Okay, I have the green weight tea, and I have pineapple weight tea.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I also have tranquility.
Uh-huh.
Now, tranquility is what is if you're worked up and I just need to calm myself,
Yes.
not sleep, but just calm myself.
Mm-hmm.
I have a peach and I have a fruit tranquility. I also have, though, if you can't sleep, I got some night tea night. And that will make you go to sleep. Now, I gave that to one of my sons, and my son said, Mom, I don't know about this. I drank this and it's not really doing anything. And I said, just give it some time. I called him the next morning. He said, Man, I don't know what that was. It'll slowly, before you know it, you'll be done. So don't
Uh-huh.
look for it to do like NyQuil or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a slow, it breaks you down. And after a while, you sleep all night and you realize, wait a minute, that was.
Yes.
I also have what they call medicinals.
Uh-huh.
Okay, one of my medicinals is called ashwagandha.
Yes.
Ashwagandha is for people with anxiety.
Uh-huh.
You know how people have anxiety attacks and things like that?
Yes.
Ashwagandha calms that
Oh, mm-hmm.
calms that down. I I had some trouble with water retention. And my legs were swollen up so big that they actually started hurting.
Yes.
And my doctor suggested medication. I suggested give me a couple weeks.
Yes.
So what I ended up doing is making a tea. I wanted tea that would, things that I knew would drain water off of your body. Like watermelon, carrots, there's something else in that. I can't remember right offhand. But I ended up, and lemon, lime.
Yes.
And ended up putting all that together. And I drank PT for 2 weeks and went back in. She looked and she said, "Oh, this is amazing." And she said that she subscribed to me what's called furosemide. It's a natural diuretic. It's not a natural. It's a diuretic pill. I said, I didn't want to tell her, but she kept going on and on. And I said, well, I actually haven't picked the medication up. She said, well, something did it, so I guess we don't worry about it. Yeah, that tea. And it's called PT.
Pastor Steph.
Yes.
Tell us about the duty.
I have that too. I have, and that name actually came from my son, because I want all my teas to have a T in it.
Yes.
And so I made a tea because I had several people at the church who were having trouble with constipation. And I have some other people now, they have trouble regularly using the bathroom. And so I got together some herbs and things that are natural, keep things flowing, and made what's called a dew tea. It works with your bowels to, it works with your intestines to make it start, make the muscles start working, so that they start pushing things through.
Yes. Well, listen, Pastor Stephanie, you have given the people of God, those watching, a whole lot of information concerning the teas. And I know one of these issues hits all of us. And I am a drinker of all of them, and they are very tasty, and I recommend them. So listen to this. I want you to share with us, just before you share with us how we can get the teas, talk to us about the seaweed.
Sea moss.
Sea moss. Talk to us about the sea moss that you have.
Well, sea moss is an algae, and it is like, it grows down in the Atlantic and somewhere by Ireland. But anyway, they actually have to harvest for it, go down and get it. And but what it is, it's actually an algae, and it has 92 of the 102 vitamins and minerals that are necessary for your body every day. So it has 92 of them in there. And it looks like this. I'm going to show it to you. It's called, the technical name is called Chondrus crispus. But the layman name is Irish sea moss. This is what it looks like. It just looks like seaweed. But what happens is, I put this in water and let it, well, I got to clean it first. It definitely has to be clean because it has an odor. I mean, it has a sea odor and it's strong. Okay. So you put it in water for 24 hours, and I use nothing but spring water, natural spring water. Put it in, and it actually hydrates again, and it grows to 2 or 3 times its size. After I do that, then I take it and I put it with spring water in a blender, and I blend it into a gel. It's just like jelly. Put that in your teas, put it in your soups, in your food, whatever you're cooking, cook it with every day. And those 92 of your 102 vitamins and minerals you'll have every day. You can't go wrong with it with this. Not at all.
Pastor
I
Steph.
don't make that though.
Oh, okay. Well, yes.
I make the gel, but I don't actually make this. I don't go hunting for the sea moss. I can't even swim.
No.
Oh, and there's another one. I have what's called hawthorn berry.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you've heard about that. Hawthorn berry is good for people with high blood pressure.
Okay.
I'm not telling you to get off your medication.
Right.
What I'm saying is what I did was I started drinking it to lower my medication because it had gotten to the point where I was on 2 different medications.
Okay.
And I said, no. So I started drinking hawthorn berry tea. And it brought it down to now I have a half of one every day.
Wow.
There's certain things, that are genetic. Certain conditions in your body are genetic. And there's some things that you just can't. It is what it is. And unless God heals you, I believe in healing. But until God heals me,
yes,
I have hawthorn berry.
Yes, ma'am. Well, listen, Pastor Stephanie, tell us how we can get the teas. We want to know how you sold us on all of the teas, and we see which ones that we need. Now, tell us how we can get the teas.
I have a Facebook page.
Okay.
And it's called Riri's Teas. Now, first of all, my name is not Riri, but it is to my granddaughter. My granddaughter couldn't say Grammy, so she started calling me Riri. And that's where the name came from. But because people see me in the street and call me Riri, that's not my name. But anyway, I have a Facebook page, and you can there's a message button on there, and you can hit the message button, and that message and order what you need. Now, with Pastor Krista, because she lives so far away, instead of getting the already made teas, she gets the bags.
Yes.
And they come like this. And they come in a little cotton bag like that with my little label on it. And they look like that. And she makes her own.
Yes.
Now, the benefit to that is you can make it as sweet as you want to. I put natural honey in mine.
Yes.
It's unfiltered natural honey. Some of them still have the cone in them. They have bits and pieces of cone still in it. Unfiltered natural honey, and I get it from the health food store.
Listen. Go ahead, Pastor Stephanie.
I actually send these to, I've sent them all over. They've been as far as California and, but I send these. I will mail these to people if you're too far away. But if you're ever in Davenport, you could always come by and get a cold one, or you can come by and pick them up.
I plan on coming there at some point in time and getting me a cold one. And then I will tell the people of God again about the cold ones also. But until then, I'll continue to keep drinking my hot and then put some ice in it and make it cold. But listen, Pastor Steph, thank you so much for sharing with us Riri's herbal teas. And I know we're going to be reaching out to you to make sure that we get these and that these are a part of our lives. Thank you so much. Thank you, people of God, for staying with us and hearing this awesome certified herbalist share with us concerning the teas that she has put together in order to help us in our walk to be healthy. God bless you.
Pastor Krista, can I say one more thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Really fast. Is I don't want people to think that these teas are going to do everything that you need to do. You need to, like Pastor Krista has been talking about, keep moving. You need to get out there and move. You need to get out there and move. You need to, you can't sit around and eat ho-hos all day and think you're going to be healthy. That's not going to work.
Right.
You have to do the work too. I just wanted to say that. Thank you so much for encouraging us to keep moving.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey family, what's going on? Listen, we are currently on location of our new home for Back at One 2021 this year for the dates of October 14th through the 16th. Listen, we just want to check and remind you guys, if you have not registered, you need to register. If anyone has been to Back at One previous years, you should not rob anybody to be here this year. Even though we were unable to see everyone last year, we are meeting live and in person on this beautiful campus here in Plainfield, Indiana, and I want to make sure we see your face in the place. Listen, registration is going quickly because our numbers are very, very small this year because we have catered it to a smaller, intimate group this year. And if you want to receive what God has for you and you feel safe traveling, make sure you are here October 14th through the 16th for Back at One. We love you guys. We cannot wait to see you in the place, to see your face. Take care. We'll see you soon.